Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie Cooper, founder of Cannabis Connection, and today I am joined by Jared Gangler of Thomson Reuters. How are you, Jared?
Doing fantastic, Jamie. How about yourself?
Doing awesome. Thanks so much for taking some time to talk to us today. First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself, Thomson Reuters, and a little bit about your background as well.
Yeah, so I am an account executive for Thomson Reuters for Michigan, Ohio, and Illinois. So I partner with all sorts of varieties of small to medium businesses. Some have attorneys, some don't. Some are, folks with varying backgrounds. And my focus this year so far has been to become more involved in the space of cannabis in Michigan, knowing that it's an area of growth, and I want to be a partner for anybody that's trying to grow their business. So we've had a lot of success with varying types of organizations. I know in Colorado, Washington, and California, there's been good track record with people being able to adopt our services and see benefits. Thomson Reuters, from the perspective of a information services provider, we work with something as old-fashioned as books. We still have a publishing location for books like you would be seeing in the Law and Order behind the attorneys. Those are our products, as well as software solutions that are available for all different varieties of companies, and our online legal research tools that I work with.
That's awesome and a very well-known company. So what is the driving factor for customers using your business tools?
Totally. So it really comes down to the information quality. Thomson Reuters invests millions of dollars into their proprietary resources, whether it's our Westlaw content that is derived from cases, statutes, and regulations, and the powerful AI functionality that is brought into that material, or our practical law materials, which are driven towards small businesses to provide them the jumping off points for varying topics and projects.
Okay, and so how can Thomson Reuters impact the cannabis industry then?
Definitely. The way I see it and what I've been talking with people in the marketplace about is really around business growth. If somebody's at the stage where they're trying to expand their business, whether it's bringing on 10 more employees and having implications around employment law, or creating a independent contractor agreement for somebody that you're partnering with, or something like your employee handbook, all these topics and areas of potentially areas where there could be issues of risk, we're able to help mitigate that risk and give you the knowledge and the wherewithal to handle some of that work on your own. We do acknowledge that folks in the space are still going to partner with in-house or outside counsel law firms to handle some of the bigger ticket items that are maybe a little bit more complex, like litigation for varying matters, or some of the materials that are a little bit more nuanced, like IP law. But the way that we look at it with the focus on cannabis is we're able to help small businesses get 80% of the way there on some topics, and the rest of the project, our task, can be handled in conjunction with outside law firms.
Okay, so it's safe to say that you guys help businesses from startup to big corporations.
Yes, 100%. It's all about having the right resources for the right size of organization. And the tool called Practical Law is truly designed for anybody to use it. It's nice because everything is written in plain language. So I can open up a practice note around drafting a trademark agreement, read through the synopsis, have a better understanding, and create that document, or at least have a starting point, so that when an outside law firm is brought into the fold, you as the user can say, all right, I have this experience or knowledge. I know what I'm up against. Here's the document. Can you finish the process? And at that point, the amount of billable hours that you're basically up against for the charge working with that law firm becomes lessened. And that's where the tool comes into play. And it can basically pay for itself with a matter of a couple projects.
Wow. And so what does a relationship between Thomson Reuters and one of its customers typically look like?
Yeah, so we are a subscription-based organization for our solutions. So when you sign up with us, you get the full suite of support staff. So there's myself and the client manager. We're here for the account aspect. You do have access to our reference attorneys, so they're available 24/7, 365. So as this may be your first foray into research of any type of variety, you can give them a call at 10 p.m. on a Friday night. If you happen to be drafting a new policy and you want some guidance, they're there and they'll be able to help you. We also have a chat function. So if you are working on something Friday and you wanted to get back to it on Monday morning, send them a quick chat and they'll actually find documents within the context of the solutions you have access to, send you the links, and then you're ready to go. So we have the account team, the reference attorneys, we have attorney editors. So we're actually counting at 300 plus attorney editors that are maintaining our practical law content, and you're available to reach out to me and I can route the questions through to them so that you have better context around the topics you may be working on.
Okay. And so let's say I was to invest into Thomson Reuters and this solution that you provide me, where would I, like, what kind of ROI would I see?
Yeah, and I think that's really a question of the use case. And what it comes down to is the analysis that I've done with potential partners in the cannabis space is it really comes down to a couple of projects. So having talked with people that are drafting employee handbooks or dealing with a trademark agreement or something along those lines, labor and employment law or IP law or commercial transactions, if you're able to, as an organization, use the tool Practical Law for a couple of projects, let's say 2 to 3, as opposed to just doing everything on your own through Google or farming out to outside counsel, the tool pays for itself. So if you think of it in that sense, if you're doing 2 to 3 projects within the first couple of months, you would basically have the rest of the 1 year of the subscription free of charge because the tool already paid for itself. So it's pretty powerful when you're having a conversation with business owners, your CEOs or the president of the organization that started it up last year, and you're able to come to them as the point person for our solution and say, hey, this is something we'd like to take advantage of for the greater organization. We're growing. We want to grow more quickly and be in compliance. That's the conversation that we can help you have. And when it comes to that analysis, we actually do have the ability to take 1 to 2 documents that you're trying to work on internally and have our attorney editors create a custom analysis. And so that you can run to your powers that be and say, hey, we are working on this agreement. We're actually going to either call outside counsel on Thursday or Friday or whatever it might be. But I talked to Jared and he worked with the attorney editors from Practical Law and put together this analysis that shows us that if we use his tool, sign up with them, we're going to save $5,000 in 10 hours of time. Random numbers I threw out there, but those are possibilities, and that ROI conversation is something we're having left and right with customers.
Wow, that's awesome. So last question, how do people get a hold of you?
The Cannabis Connection community, that's where I'll be.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time today, Jared. Jared Gingler with Thomson Reuters. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Jamie. Bye.